everyone, I'm Nikki and welcome back to the Fundamentals of Print Design. In this lesson, I'm going to recap images for you in our design and any future design that you might be working on. Images are probably the most important element of your design. They're colorful, they're impactful, they're interesting, they really guide the eye around the page, and they make people want to engage in your project, whatever it may be. So when it comes to choosing images for your document, there's a few things to keep in mind that will help you in the process. Now, the first and foremost, and I've hinted on this a lot in all of our lessons, is the image size and resolution. The higher the quality, the better the finished product. So always use high resolution images in all of your print projects and make sure you get the biggest image you possibly can for your project. Now, the trick with any images is where do you get them? You can have your images supplied to you if you're working on a project for someone else or a business that may already have images, but you may need to go out there and find images yourself. And there's two ways that you can go about that. You can go about that by going to a stock photography site, for example, iStockPhoto, any of those, where you're basically purchasing a license to use the image in a specific format and style and for a specific project. Or you can go out and find Creative Commons licensed photos, which allow you to use images in your projects without paying for them. So those are the two kind of standard ways to go out and find photos. Now, the thing to remember when you're looking at photos is what your project is. It always goes back to the theme of your project. What is your project and what content do you need to complete that? So in our case with our brochure, it was a dance brochure. So we went out and got photos to match this style and theme. And when it comes to dance, that is a very broad topic, so you might have to narrow it down yet again. So we have more of a modern dance style here, so we have photos that complement that. The other thing to consider when looking at your images is the colors, because you're going to pull colors from your images to use in your document for your fonts, for your backgrounds, all of that. So you want colors that complement each other. For example, this blue works really well with the green and the orange, and it works with these images too. So even though all of our images stand alone and are very prominent, they still work together in the final layout. So you're going to want to look for images that work well together. They all have a common theme that matches the style that you're going for in your project. And then when you lay them out across your page, one thing is that you're not going to have images all the same size. That's boring and it doesn't create the visual hierarchy that we need in our document to make things interesting. Now, there is a flip side to that where you might have more of a grid style layout and then your images might all be the same size. But in the long run, you're looking for images that you're going to use in various sizes to create some interesting use of your negative space and places for text and that. The other thing is that you do not want your images to compete with the font or your text that you have. Your text is the most important element aside from your images in your document because that's the actual content that you want your reader to go away with. So if your images are competing against your text and the reader's not going to read that text, that's not a good placement or use of your images. So you do want to vary the sizes of your images and you want to really think about the placement of all of your images and then where your text is going to go with that. It's okay to have an image take the center stage of your page. For example, this image right here, her pink flowing gown, that's a very prominent image and your eye might actually go to that first, but you still want to look at the rest of the text. It doesn't take over. There's still plenty of room around that image so that we look at the text as well. But what you notice in a finished project is that everything works together. Our images work with our text works with our images, and everything in between. They all have a common theme, a common look, and a common color scheme that makes everything tie together. And your images are going to be the key thing that makes that happen because they should be the first thing that you go after in addition to any text content that you may have. Once you have those images in place, design ideas really start to come out, make it a little bit easier to place in your document. The next lesson, we're going to talk about lines and shapes and how to use those in your project and add those little elements of design surprises that enhance your project. Thanks for watching.